all angles and sides. Okay, all angles and sides. Sometimes Pythagoras can help us, and keeping in mind that triangles add up to 180 degrees can help us too. Okay. In order to start, we have to label our HOA and then choose a ratio based on SOHCAHTOA. So that means sine theta equals O over H, cos theta equals A over H, and TOA means tan theta equals O over A. So we have that Greek letter theta. Okay, so that's what that means. It's Theta. Not D, but it's with a T, although it sounds like a D. It is a T, theta. So what I want you to do right now is practice this. Label your HOA. So for number 1, I would start with my H. Then I would draw a line to my O, and the last one is A. And so I have to then choose my ratio. So I'm going to look at this and figure, hey, X and Y are the sides that are interesting to me. I either know them or want to find them. So then what I can do is I can set up my ratio. I pick A and H. A and H would be Ka. So that's the one I have to use, Ka. Okay. So I simply write down cos theta, I must have an angle in there, equals the adjacent, which is Y. Okay, so cos theta equals the adjacent Y over hypotenuse X. Cos theta equals Y over X. That easy. Okay, so all I'm looking for is cos theta equals Y over X. So you're replacing A and H. Any questions? Do the next 3. Go for it. Okay. So label your HOA, choose a ratio, set it up using proper letters. Okay, who has B? Ashley. Close, but you missed an important part. You missed theta. You must have an angle or a letter there, okay? Otherwise, it's going to mess you up on your work. It won't make sense. Oh, kids. Can say it. So, X over Y? Perfect. Well done. Pat on the back. Next. Oh, Haley Spence. Awesome. Well done. Okay. D. Alina. Yeah, either or. I don't care.
Sine theta, Y over X.
Good. Sine theta equals Y over X. Perfect. Yep.
Can we write O over H?
No, well, that would be the first step, and then you got to replace it with the letters that are on the triangle. Okay? And that's what we're going to get into right now. So what I want you to do is the same thing above, but now you're going to use little letters. So we're going to say sine beta, tell me what the ratio is, tell me what cos beta equals as fractions, and then tan beta. Go for it. Okay, sine beta. Sarah.
Sine theta equals C over A.
Perfect. Now, good. Cos beta. Keila. So, yes, Keila with a no Makira. Good. And then let's go Michaela Porter.
I got C over B, but I think that's
Perfect. Yep, C over B. Well done. Okay. So what didn't I do right away, which you guys hopefully did? I didn't label my HOA. Okay, so I just want to work on that H, O, and then A. Okay. Now keep in mind, if this is little a, where would capital A be? Over here. Okay. If this is little b, where would capital B be? Capital B be right there. If this is little c, where's capital C? Over here. So I could have also said, for little c, I could have called that side AB. Right? I could have done that. And for little a, I could have called it BC. So keep in mind both work. Okay, I could have done that for the others as well. All right, just give me one of them. Don't have to give me all of them though. All right. Okay, so then we got into something like this. Now I want you again to tell me what's sine beta. Actually, let's start with tan beta because that's the easy one. And then we have to go into sine beta, and then we have to go into cosine beta. Unanimous fractions. You're going to have to figure out this one by doing Pythagoras. Okay, so you got to figure out what h is. Go for it. So h equals square root 13. We want exact answers, so use that. Okay, make sure you use square root 13. Give you 30 seconds. Okay, let's get started. Michaela G, what's tan beta?
2.
Good. Prabjot, sine beta.
2 over square root of 13.
Good. 2 over root 13. Cos beta. Austin.
3 over
Good. 3 over root 13. Hands up if you got that. All right. So how you guys doing? Thumbs up, down, in the middle? Okay. Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to review the other questions that I can ask. All right. So what we want to do is we want to find an unknown side to the nearest tenth or the angle to the nearest whole degree. So C, that's where we got to find the angle. These ones are finding sides. So let's start with A. Please find the side of X. Start by labeling your HOA. Okay, label your HOA, choose a ratio, just like at the top of the page. Which ratio would you choose? Hardeep, which ratio would you choose? Pardon? Sine? O and H? No, those are two things you don't know. So it can't be sine. You want to guess again? Sorry? Cos? A and H? Well, you could find H then, but you still want to find X. So that's not going to help you unless you want to do Pythagoras. Last guess. Tan, okay? And now the reason why, and I know a lot of you have this question, why? It's because we know the adjacent and we want to find the opposite. That's why. Okay, so those are the sides that interest us. Nothing with hypotenuse is useful. So we're going to use tangent. Tan 17 degrees equals x over 50. Okay, show your work, finish it off. I'll give you a second. If you know what you're doing, continue on. Otherwise, work through this. Okay, so for your work, you want to do the opposite of divide by 50. Bring it up and multiply. Keep this in brackets, and that's going to equal x. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. So you should see a D on there, okay? So then 50 times tan 17. Make sure you know how to use a calculator. 15.3. Okay, I want everyone to do this on the calculator. You have to know how to do this. If you're stuck at all, come up right away. Once you've done this on your calculator and you know you're getting the right answers, then go on to the next one. Go. But please try it on your calculator. Okay, next one. Which ratio are you going to use? Jordan Watkins. Would you label your HOA? H and O. Which one is H and O? Okay, it's sine. Okay, so sine 60 equals x over 40. So please solve that one. Okay. Now if you're done that one, do C, but C is different because now we're finding angles. Okay, so it's going to be different work. All right, give you 30 seconds. Thank you. 40 over x. 40 over x, opposite over hypotenuse. Thank you guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen. Okay, so you want to get X out of the basement that's dark with spiders. So do the opposite of dividing, bring it across and multiply. Okay. Then get rid of the sine 60. 46.2. Now those are lengths, okay, meters and meters. Okay. How many people got 46.2? Good. Okay, do C now. C's different, okay. Label your HOA, choose a ratio. That's not different. Okay, so OHA. So cos theta equals 17 over 30. Make sure you always have something written right here and underline the green. Okay, you must have something written there. So then you want to split theta and cos. You split that up and move cos the other side by doing the -1. And a lot of people need brackets around the division in order for them their calculator to do it properly. Okay, and then try it on your calculator, please. Oops. Is it 55 degrees? Is that right? Round to the nearest whole number, it says. Okay. All right. Any questions? This is your study guide. This is a review right here. I can't ask you any other questions. No other new questions will be asked. This is all your work. All we're going to do now on the back is just do some more examples, different situations. But all the work is the same. Nothing new until next Friday. Okay? Yeah, your test. Right? Sorry, nothing new till after spring break. Just applying it to different situations. Okay?
We need protractors.
Yeah, I'll have some today that you can borrow. Okay, turn it over. So, solve a triangle. That means you have to find everything. Okay. So that means you have to find this angle M. You have to find angle. Okay, so you have to find angle M. You have to find length AM. You have to find length DA. Let's start by labeling our HOA. And since we're given angle 50, that's what you're going to use for your opposite and adjacent. Okay. What do you guys want to find first? AM or DA? Don't need to at all. So what we want to use is you want to use what's given. So we always want to try and use 50 and 20 to find everything else. Okay, and the reason why is you don't want to use rounded answers. You can use the exact answer, but then you have all these decimals. But don't use rounded answers. You'll get incorrect answers. That's why we always try and use 50 degrees and 20. Okay, let's find AM first, just because it's in that order. Okay, no big deal. So what we're going to do is figure out which ratio would you use to find opposite and hypotenuse. Which one? Sine. Exactly. So set that up. Use the capital letters AM. That's fine. And there's the work, same as the bottom of the page on the other side. You get 15.3. Okay. Good. Okay, find DA now. Okay, find DA. So since we're trying to find the adjacent side, you have to use a new ratio. Okay, so use a different ratio other than sine. So A and H is be cosine. Usually alphabetical, but I'm never picky on that. So AD, DA is the same thing. $12.9, is that the right answer? Hands up, you got 12.9. Awesome. What about angle M? What's the easiest thing to do to find angle M now? Could you use a trig ratio? Absolutely. You could use sine, cos, or tan. But then the problem is these aren't exact answers. You'd have to go get your decimals again. That's a lot of work. What's the easiest thing? Yeah. Well, don't forget the 90 first, though, right? So 180 minus 90 minus 50. Okay, and often we just go 90 minus 50 because that's what it works out to be. And so that would be what? 40 degrees. Okay, don't forget your degree sign. Pretty cool, eh? Any questions? All right. So, next question says, use your protractor to measure. We can't actually do that. You know why? Because it doesn't have this written on there. This diagram is drawn to scale. You can't measure anything on a test unless you see that. If you see that, you should be thinking, measure with the ruler, with the protractor. Only if you see that. Otherwise, it's against the rules. Okay, the diagram's not correctly drawn. But if you see this diagram is drawn to scale, now you can measure it. 25 degrees, 65 degrees. Okay. Now really, when you should solve this, you should solve for this side and that side, but we're not going to do that for time's sake. Okay. Okay, please go down. Let's draw this triangle. It's a right triangle. It doesn't matter how you draw it, just draw a right triangle. Which angle is important? Which angle do they talk about? Yeah, angle O. That's the only one that matters. So put your label O at 90 degrees. Does it say anything about D and G? Not at all. So you just put them on there wherever you want. I'm going to put D on the top and G on the bottom. It doesn't matter where I put them as long as O is 90 degrees. That is very important. Okay. Now please put D and G in the correct spots. Go. Notice they're lowercase. So if this is big D, this would be little d, and that equals 30. Okay, and this is big G, so little g is across from it at 58. Okay. Any questions? Now this is different than the triangle we did earlier because now we have two sides. If we have two sides, then we should do Pythagoras to find the other. Do that. Do Pythagoras. Find side DG. Leave it as a radical. So 4264. So DG then equals square root 4264. Now you should simplify it, but for the sake of time, we're not going to. Okay, so you should simplify it. Good. Now I wouldn't use that in anything, and the reason why is because it's not going to be accurate. compared to using 58 and 30. So let's find angle D. Label your HOA based on angle D. So what ratio would you use for angle D? O and A? Tangent. Okay. So tan D equals O, I screwed that up, O over A. 38 over 30 over 58. So D equals inverse tan 30 over 58. Go to your calculator, make sure you can do that. .27 degrees. Okay. So then angle G, what's the ratio for angle G? Tan G equals what? Notice tan D is 30 over 58. So what is tan G going to be? 58 over 30. Good. All right, you just flip it. I'm not even going to go to my calculator. You know why? Because I know it's got to be 63 degrees. And that's because you can also do the 180 minus rule. Okay, so you do have some choices for that. Any questions? All right, so we